always wanted to live in an old home. I guess you could say that maybe I just have an old soul. A love for old, historical, charming things. So I'm just bringing you in today. It's starting out as an ordinary day as a mother of 4 children, and I have some projects that we are going to do to restore the original charm in this home. I want to bring this home back to the way it used to feel when it was in its glory days, with wallpaper on the walls, crystal chandeliers, that feeling of candlelight, and someday, hopefully, so much more. Just think of all of the trends that a 100-year-old house sees, all of the different changes that it undergoes. It just amazes me that it's still standing here. Some of those changes, though, are such a blessing, like our master bathroom. I don't know what this space used to be, maybe a parlor, but we have a bathroom connected to our main bedroom, and for that I am grateful. And the kitchen has been updated as well. But along with updates, a lot of that original charm and trim work gets taken out. And so I would love to have some of those modern updates, but add that charm back in. So you can see in the dining room, we've added Jared's grandmother's chandelier. That crystal chandelier I've been carrying around with me in a box our whole marriage, waiting for the perfect home for it to go into. And we finally found our forever home and the perfect place for Grandma's crystal chandelier. One thing I always wanted to have was a home that had its original hardwood floors. And so when we came into this space, this living room actually had carpet in it. And so one of the first things we did before we even put all our furniture in here was rip up all of the carpet. And thanks to all of that carpet, the wood floors are in pretty decent condition. And just recently, I have put this new area rug here in the living room, and I absolutely love it. I know some of you are going to ask, I'm just spraying a natural aromatherapy room spray. It's filled with essential oils and vegetable glycerin, so it's pretty natural. I love to spray that after I've done some cleaning. I always feel like I need to get my main chores done before I start a big project. I am a big believer in getting your work done before the play, and the project that we are going to be doing today is putting up wallpaper in the stairwell. So as an incentive, I'm getting all of my chores done before I get to hang up the wallpaper that I've been looking forward to for months and months. Okay, I know I'm going to hear it from some of you guys. Some of my good friends here in the community, worry not. I am used to ladders, actually. My dad has a home maintenance business, and it is not my first time on a ladder. So don't worry, I was pretty safe as I'm standing on top of this ladder. It's the only way I could get to the top of this ceiling line. I will say that choosing wallpaper amongst the sea of options was way harder than actually installing the wallpaper. In fact, I just about drove myself crazy not being able to decide which wallpaper to go with. But what I did want to do was choose something that was cozy, warm, and really brought out the natural tones of the wood trim. The link for this exact wallpaper will be down below in the description box. I got it from Lowe's.com. So in between putting up wallpaper, I also needed to work through some apples that we got from a friend. So I'm putting together a quick apple sauce. And if you haven't noticed, I do have a little helper with me today. A friend of mine, her daughter came over to help put up wallpaper. She loves home design and decor, and she is my helping hand, and I'm so glad to have her. So for the applesauce, I have a big pot full of quite tart apples. I put in 3 cinnamon sticks and about 1.5 cups, maybe 2 cups of water, and I'm going to put this on the stove and let this simmer while we are putting up wallpaper, and it makes the home smell absolutely delightful. At first I told myself I will just go with the peel and stick wallpaper. There's not a huge commitment there. No worries, but as I went through reading reviews on different wallpapers, I had read that it's actually a lot easier to put up this traditional form of wallpaper. So I went with the traditional glue and pasting, although I really believe that the modern day wallpaper is much easier to work with and probably is easier to pull off. This is actually called a removable wallpaper. The application process was pretty straightforward. I thought it was pretty easy to do. It definitely should be done with 2 people. And with the glue and the sturdy wallpaper, you were able to pull it away from the wall and kind of readjust, and it was very forgiving. So returning back to the applesauce for just a moment, these apples were a bit tart, so I added some maple syrup here, and they might need a little bit more than that, maybe a little bit of sugar as well. But I'm going to be putting this applesauce in some freezer containers and just putting it right in the freezer. A friend suggested that lately, that it really withholds its apple fresh flavor a little bit longer. I'm going to put this right in the freezer, and that makes this whole process pretty quick. Morning. I've got the dishwasher going this morning and the washer with a load of laundry. So we're off to a good start. I think this is my favorite bouquet of the summer because we have these red sunflowers finally coming up and they're so gorgeous. So I picked the oranges and some darker colored zinnias. And I'm just gonna put some of these older ones in here as well. This always makes me so happy. So I finished the stairway, all the wallpapering. That took me a couple of days. And then of course I had to revert my attention back to my family. So it's been a couple of days since I finished it. And so I need to show you guys how the wallpapering turned out. This was such a fun experience. I honestly can say that I loved every single minute of hanging this wallpaper. Maybe I'm just weird, but I thought it was so relaxing and enjoyable. The wallpaper was sturdy, and I went with the old-fashioned way of putting the glue on the wall, pasting the paper to the wall, and it was very forgiving, and I thought it was actually a delightful process. I also have some baking to do this morning. We've got bread in the oven. I need to put together some banana bread. I only make banana bread when I have bananas that need to get used. So a few kitchen things chores that need to get done. I'll share with you what I'm doing. And I also have plans for a gallery wall in the stairway. So still trying to decide how this video is all gonna come together, but I'm excited to show you what I'm doing today. I have two different type of banana bread recipes that I like to follow. One is very sweet, and I usually put a cream cheese frosting over it. And the other is more of a whole wheat made with honey and coconut oil, just a little bit heartier type of banana bread that I usually like to make in the mornings, and it is more like a wholesome breakfast item. So this will be perfect for a quick breakfast this morning. Add it to some scrambled eggs. And I usually like to start out by melting my coconut oil and my honey. And I just get these big old containers from Azure Standard. And I'll leave you guys a link down below for that as well. And I'll also be putting down the recipe for this banana bread. If you remember a couple videos back, I had a couple of wallpaper samples here in the stairway, and I asked you your opinion. I was really thinking about going with a dark, kind of moody wallpaper, and I decided to go with the brighter side. And I'm loving the bright floral in here. It makes me so happy. I absolutely love the amber mustard yellow that's in here, and it really coordinates well with my amber yellow fireplace down in the dining room. And since you can see into those rooms, I like how they match. You can see it was this teal color before. This is the only place that I need to finish putting up the wallpaper, but it's a big improvement from the teal paint on here. I love how the warm colors in this wallpaper really bring out the wood tones. It's all really warm, and I think it just makes this old antique house sing. Music is a big part of our home culture, and there's always piano playing. My son is 9 years old and is so passionate about playing the piano, and I love singing. So thanks for letting us share just a little bit of that here on the channel, since it's such a big part of our home culture. One of my goals was to have an art gallery in the stairway as well. Something interesting to look at besides all the beautiful wallpaper, of course. And since that space is such a transitioning space, I feel like there's two spaces. There's the stairway where I can add art, and then there's up above where you're really in the family room space. So one thing I like to do is order prints from Etsy. There are so many options for vintage art and classic art and all sorts of things, whatever your taste is, on Etsy. And so I just download those and order them from Walmart and get them printed out in whatever size I need. I have been thrifting and antiquing little frames for quite some time. Whenever I see a unique little frame that I love, I grab that. I'm using command hooks to hang up all of my art here on the wallpaper. I was not a fan of the idea of punching a bunch of holes in my new wallpaper, so we'll see how these work. I just started out by making a little cluster of art here in the beginning. I could carry the art all the way up through here. I wasn't quite sure exactly where I wanted to go with this yet. So I thought I would give myself a little bit of time and see how I like having these pictures here. And as time goes on, maybe I will make some additions to the art gallery here in the stairway. But I find that it's just another place to really express my style as a homemaker and just bring in some of that antique old world charm that I really feel like is the spirit of this home. Up in the family room portion of this wall, I added the family photos that I had here before. They were taken last fall, and I love the fall colors on this wall. So I look forward to updating these again this fall, and we need to get another picture up here of the baby. And she's changing all the time, so it's hard to keep those updated. I definitely feel like I need to add something above these photos. Maybe more of a gallery wall there, maybe a mirror, a clock, something interesting. So I will be shopping and thrifting and gathering. I feel like the best things in our home take time. It takes time to build character and to cultivate a mood and a spirit of a home. And so I try not to rush into any of that. And I just kind of collect things as they go, maybe put something on the wall and see how it feels. In a world of trends and fashions that go in and out, I encourage you to choose things that really express you and your style and what you love. I'm celebrating the wallpaper by making myself some kefir water I have been drinking each day. I love the probiotics and I love the way they taste. So I'm making some mango cranberry kefir water. I've been feeding the kefir grains once a day and making up a fresh batch of kefir water sparkling drink. When it is fully ripened and fermented, then I put it in the fridge, and it's just a fuzzy sparkling drink and a great way to get your probiotics in, but omit the soda in your life. So I've been really enjoying this, and we can talk more on that later. Thank you for joining me here today for a little bit of charming homemaking as I'm constantly improving and beautifying the spaces in my home. I make a new video each week, and remember that links and recipes are in the description box. Leave me a comment and say hello, and I'll catch you next week. Love you lots.